Well, alrighty, guys. Welcome back to another session of backtesting, where I'm going to be backtesting another half month's worth of data. This is episode number 12 of our backtesting streams, where we are going from 2013 or 2022 all the way up until 2026 in one single stretch. If you guys are interested in checking out the rest of these videos, this entire process is going to be recorded and posted on my YouTube. With that being said, now let's drop in on the current stats. So the current week or year is 2022. Fuck, it's a little too late to be going through this, bro. I'm just going to jump straight into it. It's already 12 o'clock at night. I'm just trying to get at least 30 minutes of backtesting in before closing out. I'm trying to get to sleep at least by 1:30. Got to get up at 6 this way for market. But with that being said, let's drop straight into this. So, things I want to focus on just from previous week is when I impact relative levels, always be sure to, what is that called? Wait for the failure to manipulate signatures in order to go downwards. And I also watched a little bit. Let's just focus on that, really. And then everything else is going to be the exact same in terms of this. 33 driver entries, earliest entry if it's given. 45 open high-low closes. Mr. Driver 15-minute pullbacks, 10 EM play. And then just my baseline models, which is going to be universal models, intraday profiles, which with my intraday profiles, which I am finding a lot of just finding the on the 7-hour chart is pretty clear, very nice and very clear. And then looking for clear phases and price and an entry signature as always. And then just revitalizing. So I say it's just SMT, key level, universal model, gap, swing confirm the gap, entry signature. It's basically all it is. I don't have it written down here. I should write it down. But with that being said, let's drop straight into it. So looking here, weekly time frame, as always, we are in a very bullish stretch right now. We are running into a very relative level. With us running into this very relative level, there is SMT at this level. That's pushing me down to the downside, as there is one on YM as well. So with that being said, going from external to internal, we do want to go and trade down lower, back down into the range. From that external internal, we do see that daily C2. From that daily C2, this is an SMT and a PSP, 2 stages of crack, forming the high of week personally. And then we do have this daily gap that I'd like to trade down to. The weaker asset based off of SMT direction is going to be considered YM, where I would like to go and trade back down into this daily gap that's located here. With that daily gap wide open here, you got that daily C2 looking to trade daily C3 into this gap. So now we can zoom in here, looking at the daily profile in general. So the daily profile in general doesn't really support, it doesn't really have a high a day. However, we are already trending lower. We do impact a relative level, and I would like to trade down to at least minimal all of these lows here, as this is going to be considered your draw on liquidity just for the day, not for like the overall higher time frame, because overall higher time frame is extremely bullish. But for today, we want to go and trade down to these lows, as that daily C2 is pushing us down there. We do have a 4-hour CISD, and we are making our way down lower already. The 6 a.m. candle is quite bullish here, and we could see those highs getting manipulated first prior to going and jumping in. We can take notice that we are boosting up to the upside currently, and then we do have that, the driver is actually reversing price quite aggressively away from these highs. We do have a 15-minute C2 that is forming. We can see that there is a decoupled move right now, as NQ is going higher and YM is going lower. So with NQ going higher, NQ is a lot more bullish than YM. My draw on liquidity for the day is that external internal level. So YM is going to be considered that stronger asset to get us there. Honestly, let's take a look at so the 3-minute time frame, we do not impact the most relative level, as this is the most relative level. So I'm going to enter right here on the 3-minute time frame, as we do have this CISD and is very aggressive and very strong to the downside. I can go break even as soon as I cross that low, just to mitigate that risk, and then we can just enter just like this, because that would be considered a relative level. Now my stops would go to break even, and then we just see if we punch through it. and then we would be punching through it now. And with this punch through, as you can tell, NQ is going higher, YM is falling lower. So we are playing that decoupled move down to the downside. Do we get the 2R? We do get the 2R. So now with this 2R here, this is also tapping us into that daily gap. And that's pretty much the move for the day, right? Now you got that daily SMT fill. So it's just realizing now, and honestly, like with it being this bullish of an order flow, that's all you can go and reach for is that daily gap and all of this. There's no more reasons for a YM to go down lower. So if you wanted to trade up higher, you could trade up higher. Yeah, you could trade up higher here, honestly. And this would be setting that low of that 10 a.m. candle with this 15-minute C2. There's SMT like this. ES has swept out some of the relevant lows as well. Does it sweep out its most relevant? Yeah, it sweeps out for an SMT break. 15-minute C2 on these assets. We could trade that stronger asset as we do have this SMT fill that's posted up like that. And we could trade the stronger asset up to the highs, which we would just trade it up to this high. Why? Because this would be your range low, reversal, SMT, and then this 15-minute C2, low resistance, and a fake high a day, as that Asia high does not have a high. So then that would be considered your draw. And we just want to wait for YM, the weaker asset, to confirm it with the CISD. So once YM confirms it with the CISD like that, you do have that V-shaped reversal, accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution. Now you could just wait for that 3-minute CISD like this. Holy consolidation, bro. Yeah, well, that's a consolidation. I would really, honestly, just basing it off of framework, right? We could see that NQ is more so consolidating. Asset setting that manipulation is reversing quite aggressively. You could enter here on YM instead of NQ for us to go up to those highs as the framework is stronger, right? And then YM would be able to go and deliver you for that 2R. Up to at least these highs, as the framework of that reversal is a lot better, as there's a nice V shape and NQ is just kind of like push and push, and you see these wicks and how long it takes to get that CISD. That's an unideal, right? So you could trade the nicer framework as it is V shape, continuation, entry, right? And you could trade YM upwards. But basically, the first trade was just this driver entry as we wanted to bring it down to that internal range. And we did have that CISD, and then we just wanted to push this down to 2R that's located down there. So that was that driver entry, and just waiting for that first 3 minutes to show me that YM was going from that external of the range with that daily C2 to trade downwards, inwards to that daily C3. Down to the SMT fill, and then from there you don't really want to take it anywhere past here. Why? Because there's no more reason for us to go lower, right? There's a lot more reason. We're playing counter trend right now, right? So the trend is being very bullish, so that's kind of why, like, if you wanted to wait for that long instead, the long is not that bad of an idea to wait for either, because now you have internal external, right? Going from external internal external and back and forth, right? So then you can see, or I guess not. This fucker actually went and closed bearish. So with that being said, I'm looking for a daily C2 into expansion, as we do have that SMT fill, and we do have this SMT in between these swing points, and we do have these highs that's located above us with like that. So with this all being said, there is multiple reasons for us to go up higher, going from internal external. Gonna look here as on the intraday type profile. On the intraday profile, we can see that we do have a London or a Asia low day, as we have that Asia C2 on all the assets, and we are reversing away from it as well. So if Asia is reversing away, we do see like a 2 a.m. C2 away from all of these assets. YM is the weaker asset, as it is this far in the low in the range. NQ is a lot higher in the range, so we can get on side with NQ up to the upside. With NQ being wanting to go up to the upside, we can take notice of gaps away from these levels is what we want to see hold price up to the upside. We do have this CISD, we do have this gap that's located here, and if we wanted to go up higher, being that we just ran into these levels that's located here, I'd more so wait for that failure to manipulate signature, which this would be your failure to manipulate signature, as it is showing you that sweeping here. 15-minute C2, very strong closure outside now. Very strong closure. It is above old highs. That's something that I do want to take notice of. Yeah, never mind. So this is very super difficult to get on side with, because of the fact that this is a relevant high. I would just wait on it to see if I can get that failure to manipulate signature. Actually, this was the failure to manipulate signature, because that's your accumulation manipulation looking upwards already. I can enter on this gap tap, as I would like to see this gap hold price up to the upside if we were actually going to remain bullish here. Well, that's not going to be considered valid. We do have this very nice full OB. I'm going to enter here on this OB closure like this. And then we would want, because now we are seeing that these gaps and those points of interest is pressing us up to the upside. And this is your continuation entry up to those highs. Stops can go to break even as soon as you cross those highs, and then we see if we get it. So there would be your 2R, right, up to these double equal highs that's located here. As you can tell, assets setting these manipulations was going upwards as well. I'm not really concerning myself with trying to jump in on YM because it is a lot weaker than NQ. I'm more so trying to get on side with NQ as we are a lot stronger. So my entry here was just off of this 3-minute OB outside of here to continue up to those highs, as I don't anticipate for us to want to slow down here, and I really wouldn't want to see us come back down to this low after this very strong closure through on that CISD. So this is driver confirmation. I thought about jumping in here, but I hesitated. Why did I hesitate? Because we just tapped into relative levels, but I have to recognize that the different phase and price has already passed, right? So that's something that when relative levels is impacted, did the different phase already pass? Question mark. So with this one, I guess you could say I could have jumped into it. Why? Because the different phase has already passed after this relative level has gotten impacted, where we got that accumulation manipulation, and I should have been looking for that distribution up to the upside here. So that would be your entry, just pretty much right then and there, right? Looking now for a possible 15-minute pullback. I really wouldn't want to get anything on side of NQ or YM. Why wouldn't I want to get on side with YM? Because YM is extremely weaker. There is a possibility if you wanted to trade ES up higher, but I don't trade ES. So I would more so just focus to see what NQ does off of this high. I do want to recognize that we are in very extremely bullish order flowing market. So the chances of us breaking through this high is a lot higher than us reversing off of it, right? So with that being said, I'm going to more study the phases and price here and see if we can get like a 15-minute pull back and see if these 15-minute gaps hold, or these 15-minute levels hold. If these 15-minute levels hold, then we can go and trade this back up higher, and I'm looking for a 15-minute C2 formation. So this would be your 15-minute C2 formation there, and now we can trade this back up to the highest point of the day, and just making sure that all the what is that called, making sure that pretty much all of the fucking things, what is the fucking thing called, the phases has passed. We do have all of that low resistance. We do have this 15-minute closure. I'd like to see us close above here now. That'd be your closure above. Your stops can go to this, probably that's a 1-minute OB anyway, and I'll be trading that 15-minute C2 into the 15-minute C3 expansion to the upside. See if we get it. Stops goes to break even, and then here's a new 15-minute C2. See if you get like a 3-minute CISD that's located up here. Once you get this 3-minute CISD that's located like that, you can long this up to the next draw on liquidity. Oh wait, and then your 2R would have hit on this guy already as well. And then see if we get this 2R here. And then that would be your 2R. So just when it's just already expanding, we're just fucking jumping in on it, right? Utilizing 15-minute swings. 15-minute swing, 15-minute swing, and then just catching your 2R off of it, right? And you're trading the stronger asset as this asset's going to catch up. That's basically what it is. And yeah, that's what it is, right? I mean, not super hard. Again, just universal models, internal, external, daily SMT. And now I'm looking at daily profile. As Asia is showing me that it's the lowest point of the week, we can see these highs become the draw on liquidity. That's all it is. Or not lowest point of the week, the lowest point of the day, right? So we do expand up higher. I do want to take notice that this previous day is a very much expansion day. We have expanded through these highs now. We can trade YM possibility to go and be the lagging asset, as it is feeding down into this internal range right now. We can see that NQ is low-key just accumulating. So with what is that, NQ accumulating here, we can take notice that it is showing me very London reversal profiles, as Asia doesn't really have a low day and it's low resistance liquidity that's located below us. YM, however, is pushing us downwards, and we do tap into that internal range liquidity here, as there is this SMT that's located at this high like that, and London is reversing, kind of showing me that NQ is kind of reversing as well, as it does have this push and this push back upwards. Let's see if this level, honestly, you can't trade away from all of these lows. I don't care if there's a fucking SMT, bro. I can't trade away from these lows like that, especially after a massive expansion back up to the upside. I'd like to go and trade back down into the range, going from external to internal. We do press upwards and we do press downwards. This is a borderline 9 a.m. 30-minute C2. This is a 15-minute C2 as well. Right now, we can take notice that YM does tap us into this level. So it's really just studying what does YM do here. And YM is failing to manipulate. So if YM is going to fail to manipulate, we can trade down lower, down into the range, possibly down to these levels here on YM. So with that being said, I really wouldn't want to go and, is this previous day? I think that's just within the previous day. Honestly, fucking accumulation, manipulation, SMT, asset setting, the SMT is pushing. Phases in price right now really doesn't support NQ to go down lower. So I would more so want to focus my energy on Y. Actually, phase in price just fucking changed my mind here. CISD, very strong closure for NQ to go and catch up to worth YM, where YM is playing to. Ah, fuck. All right, well, holy consolidation, bro. Fuck that. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, we'll get out of that at break even. Fuck him. Yeah, I got stopped out on that one. I honestly thought that we were good to go off of this CISD like that. Very strong closure as well. Was that operating around a 15-minute closure as well? It was operating within a 15-minute, because that's 936 or 939. So that was your driver actually confirming that from this low. And then this high should have been considered. I mean, fuck, that doesn't look entirely that bad. I'm not gonna front about it like that. But don't enter this. That's dumb. That's dumb as fuck. Don't be that guy. But you could have been this guy. Still would have got stopped out of break even though. Which is fine. Okay, well, moving on from there. I was bearish just based off of profile of the daily. And we are just realistically fucking way, like, after expansion, I want to trade down internal. So right now we can see that we are expanding lower, very, very aggressively lower as well. So with us being aggressively going lower, this becomes my draw on liquidity. We are leaving these highs behind already. I think we do not expand this low already, unless, yeah, we are expanding lower already. So I'm aiming for this low. This is a Friday. We are just chilling within the range though. Can't really say for certain what I would want to do here. It's just because it is a Friday. Yeah, it's weird like that. There is SMT swing formations like this and this now. And that's showing that YM could possibly be going up to the upside. This is actually a news event. Okay, cool. So with this being NFP, let's see if 930 reverses price. If 930 reverses price here, then that means we can just jump in on this bitch, because then that would be our SMT like that. And this, because technically this isn't the lowest point of the day, and this is a driver closing above, I'm going to wait for the continuation entry. Ah, fuck. Fucking missed it, bro. Um, Honestly, you could trade this on NQ. Yeah, we'll trade this one on NQ as we do have that pull back. This is like a 15-minute C3 and looking for a 15-minute C4. Or we could wait for this 10 a.m. to open and see what 10 a.m. gives us. So 10 a.m. just shoots straight upwards into that relative level. Fuck, I don't know how to get on side with this. I'm not going to front you. I want to go higher this way. I want to go up to that data high there. Fuck this, bro. I'm over it, bro. It's fucking stupid, dog. What the fuck? I mean, the best entry would have been this first CISD here, but honestly, I didn't have confidence in that. I would have looked for more of a continuation entry. Something like this. This is good. This one doesn't look bad, right? But the problem with this is that, I mean, I wouldn't even say there's a problem with it. This is actually 48. This is 45. This is your 15-minute open, low, high, close right there. And that was actually a pretty busting trade. I just missed it. That's your 945 entry, right? Looking at that 945 open high low close. So, yeah, away from that, I missed that trade. It's fine. I'm cool with it. So, taking a look here, daily profile. Oh shit. Daily profile is showing me an open high profile, sweeping out these highs, SMT at the highs next to it, here and here. And then now that's when we can actually, and then we got external, internal going on. Fuck yeah, we're bearish. Oh yeah, we're definitely bearish down to these lows. That's all low resistance. Going from accumulation high, looking for the accumulation lows here. And then we do have that push down in that 9 a.m. candle. We do open up these gaps that we'd like to see hold price down to the downside. Market does make its way into that gap now, and we'd want to see the confirmation of this gap getting held. So, fuck, market went and ripped straight through these gaps. Still doesn't take away from the fact I'm pretty bearish. We may see the breaking of this SMT now, which is fine. I'm going to go from external the range to internal, and I'm still going to be remaining bearish here. And I'm going to be looking for that 15-minute swing formation. Once I get this 15-minute swing, this is also setting the high of that 10 a.m. candle with a 15-minute C2. From this 15-minute C2, this is the highest point of the day. So I would have to wait for so we got the CISD, and we got a CISD, and we got an OB already, as this is your 3-minute CISD, and then this is your 3-minute OB here. And I can just trade this if I really wanted to, back down to these levels there, and I can trade this just to 2R as your 10 a.m. This is your 10 a.m. open high low close, trading the 15-minute C2 and then trading that 15-minute C3 down to the downside. Right. And then that would be your 2R, and then your aim would just be for this range low. And then that would be your range low, and then your aim would be for all of this low resistance liquidity. Here would be your 15-minute C2 if you wanted to take a continuation entry. As soon as that 15-minute closes at 12:15, going into C3 down to the downside. If you wanted to, you could go stops a break even as soon as you get this that 1400 high. Honestly, you'd want to be out because this is your current low day. Yeah, you'd be out of this. You wouldn't want to trade that already. But nonetheless, all you're really doing is going from external the range to internal the range with the daily profile open, high, low, close. As you can see, this low is not significant at all. And we can see that we do have the SMT break logic as NQ breaks it, YM breaks it, ES breaks it. All assets are ready to go down lower, and I'm looking at this 15-minute C2 as your good to go type mark. From that 15-minute C2, you're also setting the high of that 10 a.m. candle with that 15-minute C2 or 30-minute C2. And then I'm just trading this OB the OB here, and you could trade whatever OB on the way down because we should be expanding away from that level. My draw on liquidity just to this 930 low. That's going to be your easy draw on liquidity, which for me, it's going to be 2R leading up to it, right? So that would have been the easy way out. Yeah, that's a good one. That was a pretty simple one. External, internal. Universal models, intraday profiles, clear phase and price, entry signature. SMTs at key levels, so some form of SMT logic, the SMT break. Not really any gap there, but the swing was confirming it, and then we did have the push down from external to internal. So this is your accumulation. Your external, the range getting impacted, and looking for internal range as this low. Now we're going from internal to external to continue up with this already existing higher time frame order flow. There is SMT that's located at these levels like that, as ES has tapped into it, and now we can take notice that YM is the more bullish asset here. With this being said, daily profile is showing me that this, I wouldn't say that Asia is the high a day, as we are impacting this relative level. We should be going from external the range back up to internal. I can't really say that Asia is the high a day here because of the fact that yes, it's going from internal range and then it does expand in London away from this, but this doesn't look like an expansion. It looks more so of an accumulation, a manipulation for us to go back up to the upside here, going from range low back internal. We do have SMTs at this low like this, and we can take notice that YM is the stronger asset. So I'm more so looking at trying to trade YM up higher if we do want to be long bias. So with this being said, we'd like to see 930 reverse price here. If 930 doesn't reverse price on NQ, then this could be just considered a fucked up situation, right? We really wouldn't want to trade here. So now we can see that 930 is reversing price as long as 930 has this V shape. So 930 does have a nice V shape here on NQ, whereas with this V shape, we can actually see that YM does have a nice V shape as well. Whereas we are trading up to these low resistance highs that's all located above me, and we do have the SMT, we do have the CISD here, and this is trading away from these levels though, kind of not my vibe, not gonna lie there. But then now you can see that 15-minute open low profile. Okay, so now that we do sweep out these lows, yeah, see like how I couldn't really trade away from all of these lows. That's not really my style of type shit. So I'm not looking to take shorts at all. Like I'd much rather be long. If we're not gonna long buy it, if we're not gonna long, I'd rather not trade. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. So we do tap us into a relative level. There is SMT like this. I am looking for that 3-minute CISD in order for me to continue back up to the upside. Maybe even set this 15-minute low. More so of an accumulation here. Okay, so we kind of got like some action going up to the upside here on NQ, but more so like this is stuck within this accumulative range. So I don't think I'm going to trade today. I'm not going to front there. Like action is super slow. The day in itself is kind of shitty. Okay, so here's your actual, this would be like your actual 15-minute C2, setting that lowest point of the day. V-shape reversal, accumulation, manipulation. Looking for the continuation OB because this is the lowest point of the day for me. I need to see a continuation OB in order to get on side with this. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Straight the fuck up. I mean, I guess you could call this an OB, but nonetheless, it's very lackluster. So you really wouldn't be trading already, and it's already like fucking 1300, bro. Right? I mean, so it's kind of just fucking chopping up. You're not gonna get anything there, so there would be no trades here. Very choppy day, right? So with that being said, let us drop into this. There's a news event here, CPI, cool. So most likely just gonna target CPI's thing. We are in bullish order flow, daily chart, very bullish. Again, going from this range low or this internal range low, and I'd like to trade us back up to this high as we are expanding up to that range high. Very late, it kind of just reversed like yesterday or today, probably in the Asia session. We do take notice that we are going up higher. My draw on liquidity is for here. YM is a lot more stronger than NQ is currently. So with that being said, with YM being stronger, if we want to be bullish, I'm more so leaning at taking NQ as being bullish. Looking at the daily profile, we do have a London reversal, as London does set this low here and we do expand away. We do have draws on liquidity here. I do want to take notice that we are above old highs and expansion has occurred. So how do I want to get on side with this? Is I would like to wait for a push back down into the range. Here's your push down into the range. We do have this gap getting filled. There is an SMT fill currently, and with this SMT fill, there is a possibility for us to trade up higher. I'm just looking for now the continuation signatures in order to get us up there. So we do have that SMT filled located at that gap. Let's see if we get some form of signatures here. I'm going to take this as this is your 3-minute CISD, as this is showing me that that gap is getting that SMT fill. And now with this being said, we got that strength flipping into YM for us to go upwards, as this is going to be considered your protected level. Going from internal to range, as you can tell, assets really isn't reversing here. If we wanted to go down lower, we'd go now, right? So if assets are not going to go lower, then we should be able to go pretty much fucking relatively quickly up to the upside. This is a 30-minute SMT fill, as you can tell here, for us to go and push us up higher. So let's see if we get it. Boom. I'm going to wait for an OB just because it wouldn't make sense for you to go break even here, right? So you just wait for the OB, another OB creation up to the upside. Okay, so this is your stops to break even, as this is an OB creation. CISD. And then you get stopped out of break even there. So let's see if we can get on side with another trade here. It doesn't change the fact that we're still bullish, right? We are definitely still bullish. So let's see if we can get this 15-minute open low and set the low of that 10 a.m. candle with that. Oh, actually, it's doing it right now. Let's see if we can get a nice V-shaped reversal here. I don't have a 3-minute CIC. That's a fucking problem, bro. And then that would rip straight upwards. So really nothing here for me after that first move. Maybe could have jumped in here on NQ as well as that 1030 move. Actually, not entirely half that bad on NQ, right? Because we would have had that 15-minute C2 outside of an internal range liquidity, setting the low of that 10 a.m. candle for that 10 a.m. open, low, high, close. And then you get this V shape here for us to target to where all of this low resistance liquidity in alignment with that next draw on liquidity as well. Your stops is already at break even. So then now we're just like forward testing to see if it's going to go up there. So nothing there, and that's fine. I'm cool with that, right? Getting stopped out of break even, which is not entirely that bad. So now let's go and take a look here on the next day. Just basing it off of the overall higher time frame order flow, extremely bullish, just super extremely bullish right now. Not showing any signs of slowing down. Very exclusively or extremely bullish. Previous day we run into a very relative level. There is draws above for us to go and tap into. YM is above its relative levels here. We could see an external internal type move. What day of the week is this? This is a Thursday, so there is a reasoning for us to go external internal, as the daily profile as well really doesn't have a low day that's set with anything of true significancy. So we do have it ripping straight upwards. With all of that fucking said, right, this is very external internal type models. So I'm looking to see if we can trade down lower, because we do not have a lower day that's set with anything of true significancy. So with this being said, I'd more so want to go and frame the higher day with the 15-minute swing formation, as we are expanding away already from this high, and you can see that driver is reversing price. So that is confirming my narrative, as we have that CISD, the accumulation, manipulation, and a very strong closure through. I can enter here as that driver entry, and we can go down to these levels, as all the assets is pretty much bearish already, and we already had that CISD and then the push away from it. And this is trading that 30-minute, not really a 30-minute, honestly. I'm pretty comfortable with that. And it's just trading that 15-minute C2 into expansion. So we get wicked out here, and with that wicking out there, we can see that this high gets stopped out, and it looks like YM is the asset that doesn't wick out. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for a new 15 to the downside, or it looks like we are entirely wrong here. Here's your new 15, going external, internal, V-shape reversal, looking for that continuation signature. Here's your continuation signature. And then you're ripping this for all of that low resistance that's located down there. Again, for the daily profile, doesn't have a wick. You can go and trade this, and this should just go rip straight downwards. And then that would be your 2R. And then you can go for 3. Going from external to range to internal. Obviously, you would be out already. But yeah, 2R is fine. So secondary entry worked better. Yeah, the secondary entry did work better. Why did I choose NQ? I don't fucking know, honestly. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I was just on NQ. Damn. Equal highs above. Well, nonetheless, I do not have a wick on the daily candle, so that's kind of why I was just going intraday profile. Accumulation, manipulation, I traded this first 15-minute C2 as a 930 driver push play, and then it didn't work out, and it just kept running upwards. So what do? I just wait for that 15-minute CISD, and you got that V shape, and then the continuation entry, which is very clear. I can't tell you why NQ worked and YM didn't, which YM worked as well. You just had to CISD. I guess you could say this is why. I mean, fuck, I wasn't looking. I'm not going to front to you, right? I'm not going to go and be like, this is why, and this is, I knew it. No, I didn't know. You know what I mean? I literally was not looking this way. But we can see how this YM does a deep retracement. NQ is a lot more shallower. That's why NQ would have worked a lot better, right? It's showing you that weakness, as it does do what? It does have a shallow wick, and this one does have a very strong wick. Right. With that being said, that's pretty much that trade there. Daily time frame, daily C2, external, internal. We do run into relative highs. There is another high over that we would like to go down up to. This is a Thursday reversal. I'm more so looking for a Friday continuation lower to go down to this internal range, which would be the daily level. And the reasoning why I would want to do that is really just because we have that external internal type model, daily C2 looking for daily C3, and the daily profile does not support us to go down to the or up to the upside. Daily profile is actually an open high low close with no current low of day. So with that being said, I'm looking at price to come back down to the downside. I do see that there is a 4-hour SMT that's in between swing formations outside of this internal range liquidity, which is this gap, and now we can send that 15-minute C2 that's setting this high here, and we are expanding away from it as 930 is confirming that narrative. We do have this is it's kind of weird. I'm gonna have to wait until a continuation OB. So no continuation OB. Why do I have to wait for a continuation OB as well? Is because this is the lowest point of, or highest point of the day. So I have to wait for that continuation OB. With this being said, waiting for a new 15-minute swing formation. This would be like your 15-minute C2 that's located right here. We are pretty close to these highs. I don't like the way that these highs are stacked up against each other, but with it being bearish, I could see it continuing, you know. I could see it fucking not doing whatever the fuck we think it's gonna do. We do have an SMT break as YM has just swept out that level. If we get like a nice 15-minute C2 here, then I can go and trade this. There's like it is a 15-minute C2, but it's very ugly, super fucking ugly, right? Like right now, I'd much rather go and sweep out those highs in order to continue lower, right? So we do see market does rip up one last time to sweep out those highs that's located there, looking for that 15-minute swing on NQ. We can see that YM is showing me a lot more relative weakness as it is lower in the range here. Now if YM gives me that continuation signature through these lows with a CISD, strong CISD, see how this has a long wick? That's not the most ideal closure. I'd more so want to wait for a strong CISD. So waiting for that 15-minute swing formation to be present. We do have this 15-minute C2, which is already in full effect here, and we are reversing price now. We do have this V-shaped reversal. And honestly, with this V-shaped reversal, 15-minute C2 off of this 15-minute high, 3-minute CISD, low resistance liquidity below, YM actually being the weaker asset in comparison to where NQ is. We can go and take this down to R, that's located like that, and that's just down to the low day, which is not really formed from anything of true significancy with all of this low resistance liquidity. Let's see if we get it. Oh, well, it ran upwards. So with that being said, it looks like I was wrong. I was just extremely wrong. Well, bucking bias was wrong. I thought we were going down to these lows, going from range high down to range low with all this low resistance. As you can tell, V-shaped reversal and expansion away. Yeah, it just didn't work out. That's all it was. I mean, I was trading the weaker asset. Alright, well, fucking didn't work out. I'm cool with that. So, it looks like we were actually extremely bullish. With us being extremely bullish, Monday does go and open low, or Monday does open low after this high has been impacted. With this low getting impacted like that, I would like to see us... Right, I would like to see what we're doing here. We do have an internal external type model. Really don't like, or I guess you could say there is some SMTs in between this London, in between London's low like that, where now we can take notice if London, or if, what is that called? If YM can reverse price within the 6 a.m. candle, we can trade NQ, the stronger asset, up to the upside to go and push past these highs, right? So with that being said, there's a nice daily open low profile here on NQ, as we do have this SMT and we are pushing already. We do have a 30-minute, 15-minute. Okay, so we have a 15-minute like push inversing this gap as well. So that's all good signs that we can be considered going up higher. There would be like your reversal happening prior to the driver type shit. Let's see what the first 3 minutes does, and it goes straight up to the draws. So with the first 3 minutes going up straight up to the draw, I would wait to see what the reaction is off of this high. And as you can tell, it does have a pretty decent reaction off of it. We can see that YM is picking up its pace up to the highs to go and break that SMT. We do have a failure to manipulate signature here. Problem with this, to me, there's nothing in close proximity for me to trade up to anyway. So I might be letting this trade go just because I don't have anything to trade to. So I'd much more rather wait for that 15-minute pull back down into the range. So once we have this 15-minute pull back down into the range here, I can go and wait to see if this 15-minute swing is going to hold. Really doesn't look like it is holding. Looks like a V-shaped reversal right now. And from this V-shaped reversal here, we could actually enter right on this fucking V-shaped reversal to trade down lower to all of these lows. But then that now would be considered seek and destroy, as that would be like a daily open low and then high and then low again. Not ideal. I just was looking at these equal lows that's located like that, which is telling me that it could possibly be bearish. I'd more so want to just chill out to see if I can long back up to the highest point of the day. So let's see if we can do that, because I don't want to participate in a seek and destroy type profile. NQ is making a lot more deeper of a retracement than YM is. So YM is telling me that there is a possibility for us to go up to these highs that's located to the left of us. We do have that accumulation, the manipulation of these levels here, and we could possibly see us go and push upwards. I'm going to trade NQ just because the RR is better, and NQ was originally stronger. But yeah, we'll just trade NQ. See if we get it. We're getting stopped. I'm going to take it off here because we do have a OB invalidation here. So I'll take it off for a half-hour loss, really. Yeah, we'll take it off for a half-hour loss. Yeah, we're getting stopped. Once you have that OB invalidation. Or not. Fucking pussy. Fuck, sorry. No, my bad. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. My bad, bro. Fuck. Well, That's fucked up, eh? I mean, I wouldn't say I got spooked out. I do close price when we have OB invalidations like that. When we have that CISD to the downside, I usually just close price right then and there. So with that being said, that is minus half an hour right there. So not a good. I don't. Every time we impact a level like that, it's just instantly not the greatest. I like again, we just kind of accumulated within that day. So really, just good job managing your risk because you don't want to get caught up in a fucking in all that turmoil. You know what I mean? So with this being said, we can take notice of a New York reversal where we. What the fuck is that? Holy. This is crazy looking. I really wouldn't want to trade away from these lows. I'd much rather manipulate these lows. Take notice that YM is just kind of crazy looking. I just want to see like a 15-minute model from these lows in order for us to press up higher. So not really telling me anything here. And we're just continuously falling. I'd much rather fucking not trade if we're going to do this. YM going shooting up to the upside away from these levels. And then NQ just continuously falling lower. Not really my flavor. Not really my taste. Here's your 15-minute model that's located right there. From that 15-minute model, V-shape reversal and continuation OB. But why not enter right here? Shit. Kind of missed it. Yeah, low-key missed that trade. Let's see if we can get on side with another one here. Damn, low-key missed that shit. See what happens when I'm just skipping through, bro? It's fucking crazy, bro. Fuck. It's fucking insane, dog. So we do manipulate out another relative level. And then we do have that 15-minute C2. V-shape, OB creation, low resistance liquidity in alignment with all of that. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh, damn. That's crazy, bro. That is actually insane. Fuck that one up, eh? Dog, I gotta go to sleep. It's already 1 o'clock. I ain't going front about that. um, fucking headed down to here. That's like gonna be your okay. So London high a day with that London C2, and then the expansion away from there. Do have that low. That's your draw on liquidity as we have expanded prior to market open. I need to see a deeper retracement first because I can't short all the way the fuck down here. I need to see market run up higher first. It doesn't even matter like right now of where it is. I need to see that run up higher. Kind of like what YM is doing. YM run up higher, 15-minute C2, sets the high of the 10 a.m. candle, V-shape reversal, CISD, low resistance, equal lows below, NQ failing to manipulate, lower prices, push, and you should see YM flush to catch up to those assets, right? Yo, what the fuck, dude? There you go. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? Fucking weirdo. Right? And then that would be your 2R. That's just setting that high of like literally it's like if market has expanded prior to the driver or like in the overnight session, wait for the deeper retrace back into the range. You don't want to like just keep shorting at the lowest point. You want to see that retrace to go and balance it out a little and then just play that 15-minute C2. That's also setting the high of that 10 a.m. candle. With that 15-minute C2 setting the high of the 10 a.m. candle, look for the V-shape reversal as your entry signature. And this would be your entry signature as it does have that V-shape reversal. And then you do have all this targets, which is low resistance and the equal lows. That's your break even point. And market went and pushed down through it. And then you just hold for 2R from there. Right. And that's just in continuation of this higher time frame leg already. Right. And yeah, that's basically that. So moving on to the next. And that's pretty much that backtesting session. So pretty decent there. Lots of mistakes, missing trades. Gotta slow down a little. Don't get me wrong, bro. It's literally like 1 o'clock in the morning though for me. So currently up 7R in half a month. So could have added one more dub here and be up 9R in half a month. But what can I say? You know what I mean? It's fine. I'll live with it, bro. It's not that fucking crazy. With that being said, decent. I really do like this. 2 losses and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins. No, wait, 3 losses and 5 wins because there's a loss on this day. And then this one was your half hour loss. And then I could have added one more win, but I missed the trade and I messed that one up. So got to slow down a little bit more. Overall, decent, pretty decent. Things that went well here was, I would even say, the but I like the 7 hour, bro. It's very easy to look at the profile. You know what I mean? Just what profile are we in? When I'm looking at intraday profile, the 7 hour is pretty clear because that's literally all the 7 hour is, dog. It's literally, if we're gonna take a look at what the candles are for 7 hours, it's literally just boom, 2200, London reversal, New York continuation, external the range. But we do have those equal lows, so there is reasonings for us to go lower. So what would I actually look at this as more so of a fake low of day because it missed the relevant level, and we're setting a higher day because there is nothing here with that higher day. Oh wait, that's not even the 7 hour. Oh yeah, see what I mean? Like we just have that boom push. This is your higher day, as it doesn't really fucking look like it's doing anything special, and we can see that it's set with what, a C2, pushing us down to the downside. And then now I would like to anticipate for this high to remain, as we have these equal lows below that I would like to trade to. So this is more so of an accumulation, manipulating out these highs and pushing down. I don't really want to anticipate for this high to get hit because it is already protected, as it already swept out a level. This is more so of a rebalance of the range for us to then go down lower to those equal lows. So with that being said, if this is going to go down lower to those equal lows, I'd like to see gaps that's formed away from this to possibly hold a price up to the upside. We already have a 30-minute CISD that's already pushing from the highest point of the day, as that's going to go and tell us that we can go lower. I do want to take notice that if I don't really trust these 3-minute highs, especially after a relevant level has been impacted. After a relevant level has been impacted, this can send us into a different phase in price, which it can show us to go up higher. So right now we can see price is making its way down lower, and now I would want to see if I can get on side with some form of continuation entry. As you can tell, YM does show us that continuation entry, not really operating within, like I'm not really going to go and jump in on that though, just because of the fact it's not really operating within a swing formation. Right now we do have a swing formation like this, but it's just kind of low in the range for me. Really wouldn't want to just jump in. That's just not my style, especially this low in the range all the way down here off of some random 3-minute OB type shit. Not really my style here, right? Let's see if I can get a model. So YM or NQ kind of just accumulating now. I'm looking for something confident, bro. Like I literally cannot answer. Like why would I answer here with the draw right there? It's just not making sense to me, right? I'd much rather go and let a nice 15-minute C2 go and play. Here's your nice 15-minute C2. And then now we can go and utilize the lagging asset, which is NQ, to go and break that SMT. That'd be your 1030 open, low, high, close. This is actually your 30-minute opening price, and that's your 15-minute model for us to go down to those equal lows that is located below. Kind of deep pullbacks, but nonetheless, that's your V-shaped reversal away from it, and that should just go and rip me straight to stop loss. Well, that's fucking that. Fuck. Well, that makes me fucking at 6R. Never mind. I'm done. Holy shit. I shouldn't have did that. I should have just closed up already. But yeah, I'm done already, bro. I'm tired. 1 o'clock in the morning, and I still gotta set up the setup for fucking tomorrow morning. Other than that, I'm over this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.